Hey everybody, my name's Ethan and you're watching the Anime Bento. Today I'm wanting to give you guys my first impressions of the spring 2019 anime season. I've already checked out the first couple episodes of most of the anime for the season, and I'm excited to tell you guys about my favorites, what I think's worth checking out, and maybe what I'm passing on as well. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to rank the anime from highest to lowest for what I'm looking forward to most this season after my first impressions. This is just based off my opinion, of course, and feel free to share your guys' lists at the bottom. Alright, let's kick things off with continuations. First up, One Punch Man Season 2. I was really surprised that the only place simulcasting One Punch Man Season 2 is Hulu here in the US. It's slated for 12 subbed episodes just like the first season, but we do have a switch of the production studios from Madhouse to JC Staff. I'm going to have here in the background some of the anime that JC Staff has worked on recently, and I'll do this for all the anime I'll be talking about in this video. Some of JC Staff's latest shows are Food Wars, Angels of Death, and Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Nothing they've made has been as action-packed as One Punch Man Season 1, but I do enjoy Food Wars, and Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon had some well-animated action scenes. But what you need to know is that yes, it's gonna look different, but the comedy of One Punch Man is amazing. And I'm sure that JC Staff is gonna have some money in the budget for the action scenes. Next up, finishing this season is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, or JoJo Part 5. This is subbed on Crunchyroll, and if you haven't dived into JoJo, it has my full recommendation, with the whole series right there on Crunchyroll. There's not much I'm going to say about JoJo except that it's pure fun, and the fight scenes are great thanks to the variety of stand battles. Where we are now, Team Giorno and the gang are trying to figure out who the boss is and how to beat the mob boss's stand, King Crimson, which looks to be another stand dealing with time. After that, we have the Rising of the Shield Hero. This anime's finishing up this season with 24 episodes that are actually both subbed and dubbed on Crunchyroll. This is a different take on the normal isekai with some darker tones and a fun cast. It isn't my favorite, but I do keep watching it each week, so I'm interested to see how they wrap things up and if it becomes one of my favorites. Another continuation wrapping up this season is Dororo. I don't know if I'm saying it just right, but it's a remake of the original Dororo anime based on the manga by the same name, which is written by the father of manga, Osamu Tezuka, in the late 1960s. It's great to see older anime like this getting new skin. It'll be finishing up its 24 subbed episodes on Amazon Prime, and if you haven't checked it out, it's a great samurai story involving action, demons, and great politics. Another continuation is Karakuri Circus. It's on Amazon Prime, and it should be finishing up with around 36 episodes. I find this series to have similar action to JoJo, which is gonna be a common theme here in this video. The character fights are done with puppets, and the show has an older vibe with its animation, staying true to its 1997 manga. Two more series I want to mention that are continuing are Fairy Tail and Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2. Fairy Tail's now having its final season both subbed and dubbed on Funimation, as well as subbed on Crunchyroll. We don't have an exact episode count on how long it's going to be, but this is supposed to be Fairy Tail's last season. And then Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 is being subbed on both Funimation and Crunchyroll, with a dub coming later on Funimation. Both of these series I'm sure you'll already be watching if you're a fan. Fairy Tail for me is just relaxing fun, while Attack on Titan is definitely going to bring the action and suspense this part. Now that we're done with the continuations, let's talk about the brand new series for the spring 2019 anime season. First up, and I'm going to put it here, is Fruits Basket. This isn't a direct continuation from the 2001 anime, it's actually a brand new anime based on the Fruits Basket manga. A lot of people are saying this is Fruits Basket getting the Brotherhood treatment. The original Fruits Basket came out in 2001 and covered the first 30-ish chapters of the manga. However, that's only about 25% of the actual story, since the manga ended with 136 chapters. So the mangaka, Natsuki Takaya, is excited about this remake, which will tell the complete story in around 3 to 4 anime seasons, so this is going to be around for a while. It has a completely new subcast, but almost the entire original English dub cast will be back for the dub on Funimation, which is coming out day and date with the subbed episodes. So check out this series on Crunchyroll and Funimation. Fruits Basket has the highest recommendation for me, as it's really a series that's taught me a lot of life lessons. I'm excited to check out the dub on this one. Alright, the actual first new anime of this season is Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer. Being subbed on both Funimation and Crunchyroll and slated with 26 episodes, this is an adaptation of the popular manga that's airing right now in Shonen Jump. The anime is being produced by Ufotable, who mainly makes the Fate series adaptations, so we know it's gonna look great. The story is set in Edo, Japan, and focuses on samurai who fight demons. Tanjiro is the main character, and his motivation for the series is saving his sister, who's turned into a demon after his whole family was murdered. I'm really excited to check this one out as I'm an anime only and see where the story goes. The power system will be interesting as it mostly uses samurai breath techniques. Up next is Fairy Gone. This is being produced by PA Works, and it's an anime original slated for 24 episodes. It'll be both subbed and dubbed on Funimation and Hulu. I'm even more excited because the author of this anime was the author on Grimgar, Ashes and Illusions, which is an isekai series that's brutally realistic and also my favorite isekai. Another neat thing is that the fighting style in this series does also resemble stands like JoJo. Fairies in this world, if implanted into humans, allow the humans to summon beings to fight beside them. They range from a large wolf to mages and more. What makes it even more like JoJo is when the summon gets hurt, its user also takes the same damage as well. Speaking of JoJo fighting styles, our next series, Shometsu Toshi, or After Loss, has its own take on stands. This is a 12-episode anime based off a game adaptation being done by Studio Madhouse. The anime will be airing on both Funimation and Hulu, subbed and dubbed, and just as a heads up, although this series is listed as an action-adventure, it's mainly a mystery series about a city that was completely wiped out by natural or unnatural means. The spirits summoned seem to be people who are wiped out by the phenomena, so it's an interesting take to have people who've passed away become someone else's stands. It does seem that they also take damage when the stands get hurt. If this 12-episode series has a complete conclusion, I'll be really happy for a short, concise series like it. Up next is Robi Hachi. This is a zany space adventure comedy parody, which is basically Space Dandy mixed with Double Decker. It's produced by Studio Comet, who's known for shows in the 90s and 2000s. This will be a 12-episode series subbed and dubbed on Funimation and Hulu. Just a side note here, I've been really surprised on how many shows Funimation has licensed that Crunchyroll doesn't have this season. But this comedy sold me from its first episode. It's got a great duo of characters, and I'm really into space travel. So I totally recommend you checking out the series, but don't expect anything that leaves you with deep thought. Consider this a relaxing show to sit down and watch after a busy day at work. Up next is Sarazanmai. Sarazanmai is director Kunihiko Ikuhara's next crazy work. This 11-episode series can be found subbed on Crunchyroll, and it's being produced by Studio Mappa. I'm gonna tell you immediately that you're either gonna hate this or you're gonna love it. Sarazanmai focuses on the Japanese mythical creature, the Kappa. Kappa are frog, turtle-like yokai demons that enjoy cucumbers, sumo wrestling, and assaulting humans by removing a mythical organ called the Shirikodama from humans' anuses, which they believe contains a person's soul. It's a weird topic, but if that description doesn't put you off, I encourage you to check it out. It's got some of the most unique art direction and animation I've seen in my whole life. Hitoribochi no Seikatsu is being subbed on both Crunchyroll and Verve. It's a 12-episode comedy slice of life that's about a girl entering middle school who's coping with extreme social anxiety. As someone who has anxiety, it was not only endearing to see the main character try to make friends, but completely encouraging, as it shows people can care for you despite what you might see as your own weakness. The show does poke fun at social anxiety, but in my opinion, it does it in a tasteful way that leaves you thinking the main character's personality is cute, and definitely someone you want to protect. Check it out if you're looking for this season's slice of life comedy, or just something to make you feel happy. Mayonaka no Occult Kumen. I'm trying to say it here. Either way, this series is slated for 12 episodes, and it can be found on Crunchyroll, produced by Leiden Films. This series is labeled as a fantasy supernatural series, but it's really just a cop drama for a police force which deals with paranormal and occult-related events. This means angels, demons, yokai, and many different mythical creatures are going to be showing up. The interesting part about the story, though, is that the main character is the only human who's able to understand and communicate communicate with these beings. Everyone else can't understand what they're saying. I wasn't blown away by the first episode, but we'll see where it stands at the end of the season. Alright, this is a huge title. It's Kono Yono Hate de Koi o Uto Shoujo Yuno. A visual novel adaptation of a time-traveling based story didn't grab my attention. Time travel in a series isn't one of my favorite topics, but the fact that it's set for 26 episodes being subbed on Crunchyroll and dubbed on Funimation has made me at least take a look. That's a lot of episodes. The source material has to be somewhat interesting to have that many. While watching the first episode, you can immediately tell the series is definitely based off of a Bishoujo game, as many love interests are introduced in the first episode. I also wasn't a huge fan of the main character, who's a huge misogynist, so I guess we'll find out whether or not this series does anything special to keep my attention. But for now, it's my least favorite series on the list. The last two series I'm gonna mention are Gunjo no Magmel and Carol and Tuesday. Both of these series are here at the end, since neither of them you can watch legally here in the States. Magmel was not licensed in the US at all, while Carol and Tuesday will be out on Netflix later in the year. Even though you can't watch them legally, they were at the top of my list for shows I was excited for. Funjo no Magmel follows a whole continent appearing in the world with new creatures, plant life, and more. After watching the first episode, it reminds me of creatures found in Toriko and has a lot of serious fight scenes with death. I'm not sure how many episodes it's gonna be, but I did love the first episode of this series. And now Carol and Tuesday is an anime original set to be 24 episodes on Netflix. It's being done by Studio Bones and it looks beautiful. This is an anime in the music drama category, which I don't watch too many shows of. But later hearing that it was a sci-fi series where the main characters live on Mars, I was really excited. But again, none of these two series are airing currently in the US. Alright, those are the shows I'm looking forward to this season. Here's a ranking based on my first impressions on what I'm excited to keep watching. Later in the season, we'll find out how my list changed. Also, please feel free to put in the bottom what yours is. Thanks again for checking out my Spring 2019 anime first impressions.